So, my palliative care has been to visit, and she's so absolutely amazed with my efforts to care for myself and all that jazz, that I may be allowed to die at sea on my own vessel at some point in the future. But yes, basically, I've been a good boy. So I've still got this terrible sore throat. It's not coronavirus, right? It would have been just so amazing and normal if I'd have got that too, along with the 3 months of being locked in, the same as the rest of you, yes? So obviously my nursey, who's like in charge of me until the end, effectively, she was concerned like for my safety and whatnot, and that I might set myself on fire in bed. So I've shown her my five fire extinguishers, one new and the others 4 serviced by a trained person. She was concerned I might be left lying helpless here for days, unhelpful. Get off my boat now! And just to help with that, my carer can simply take control of my camera with her phone app, look at me and nod it up and down to wave at me, and I can give her the thumbs up. The things are actually coming here, right? So it's a bit of an eye environment that I'm creating. But yeah, it looks like I can die at sea, right? That sounds good to me. Absolutely. So you must be bored of me by now. I certainly am. Let's go and see somewhere amazing. Why not?
Visit Rob. So like I said, I live in like an ordinary sort of boatyard, but the people are not ordinary. It's the yard. Okay, so Rob's a long-term yardie, and this is his place. Tell us about it.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah, I'm Rob. I got it like 10 years ago here and started spending more and more time up here, trying to replicate the boatyard, really, the sense of community and freedom to do what you want in a little place, mind your own business and get on with it. So these were all the old quarry buildings and just slowly fixing them up. Lisa's got a blacksmith forge in there, got the recording studio in there. Dave's got, Lisa's got the blacksmith forge in there, and then Dave's got a recording studio here, and then Elle's got a rum distillery in that one. And these were all that was the old blacksmith forge for hundreds of years. This was, I don't know what it was, and that was again like cutting sheds. All around here were like railway tracks and all the little.
There used to be a quarry, basically.
Yeah, for hundreds of years, just a massive granite quarry, and then just letting people fix up their space and do what they want in them, really. So they build it, and then they use it, and it's so great. And yeah, wow. So this is Nick's making theatre props. He built that whole shack a few years ago.
It's actually the longest I ever had a job in my entire life. It was almost 3 years. I was a groundsman, so my part of it, I mainly drove one of the huge folding cylinder mower machine, big hater, and I had it was in St Albans in north of London, and I had my own round, which was about a 6.
So you go down to the little buggy bridge area and come somewhere amazing. So this is the quarry. Got a little village in its own right, a couple hundred years old. It's 40 foot deep. The water is always full. So on the somewhere to do trampolining in from. That's a rope bridge. You can walk across the quarry there. You can jump off there, and there's a big swing. So cool, isn't it?
The weather in the UK down here in the south is horrid. It's very windy, but still no rain for the garden. It's like yet again. Last year was also extremely dry April, and it was torrential in June, if I remember correctly. So it's my birthday is May the 12th. All right, I know you're excited. I certainly am. And like mid-May was kind of my personal minimum target, if that comes across right. And after that, it's double extra bonus with extra on top, so far as I'm concerned. My nurse says that I kind of know, like my feet really do hurt come the evening because I'm using myself. She has obviously a palliative care nurse, sees a lot in life, you can imagine, right? Um, but she says a lot of people simply give up the first opportunity because it's just so easy to be put in a bed in front of a TV. The less movement and action, and the less that you're actively using your mind, the quicker you are going to basically die. It will matter. So I'm the man for the job. I hope for that one. So one of the challenges I have now is inside my mind, I've never been so free. The less usable information coming into me, the more I can think clearly. And I've never been so constantly clear in my thoughts. So there's always a bonus, a plus side to every situation. But the issue I have, of course, is not the tumor growth or the 10,000 million new tumors, because every cell left behind is a new tumor, basically. So it probably looks like a bunch of grapes, is how I can vision it. But the original damage occurred by ignoring it forever. Yeah, I hope it's always going to happen, right? But the damage I suffered then is just the same as a car accident injury. I've been speaking to a friend who had a high-speed car accident in his teenage he was involved in. And the same for him. Inside his thoughts, he was great. But then he goes somewhere and no recollection. Why am I here? What's it got to do with me? Is the question. And this kind of damage, though it's been progressively improving, most certainly is now going in the opposite direction because the new factors and pressures, it's already knackered. It's missing as well, right? So even playing my game, I can play my computer game because I've played it for 10 years. I know exactly what the information looks like. I don't need to see the pictures, but I need to be able to see something. So I'm having to remove the information from the background as it completely foxes me. You can see I put a little cover maybe on top of the light so I don't get the bright light. If there's a TV and a light next to or above it, it's almost impossible for me to see it really. But if I use my phone for a film and it's dark, because it's small also and I can see it in the usable part of my vision, I can see that absolutely fine, really. So I can, so I'm having to move forward on that front, and it's only going to get worse. Hence, and obviously the mobility is decreasing. It'll go in a plateau and it'll drop. It'll take a plateau and it'll drop. But yeah, but I'm still getting about. That's the important bit. So soon I'll be back to the Magic Garden again to see rhubarb, of course. But a few other little friends maybe will come to visit. Let's hope so. I'm so close to being finished with my little projects in the garden. Well, it hasn't been a little project in the slightest. That's absolute rubbish. But it's so close to being finished now. I simply have to go there and boss everyone around, as is my nature. and then it'll be finished. What I can't finish is painting and rebuilding all the windows to the massive 4-story Napoleonic building. You'll see it, I hope, next time, the wider place. It's part of the old Bodmin jail in Cornwall. It's been bought, it was ruined during obviously it's from the old times. This is where people used to be hung all the time. And during the Second World War, the crown jewels were stored there in the sub basement far beneath the ground with a colossal stone-built granite building on top, well set for bombing. The collapsed building would protect the contents below, not destroy it. And then after that, it was sold by the usual kind of ways in life. Some councillor bought it for peanuts, stripped the colossal amount of lead from the roof, sold it, and then just sold it away for some peanuts again, turning into an instant total wreck, which is what it's been ever since. That's why we are quite big, used to be quite big in the rat hunting fronts in the garden, because we're just being invaded constantly. But the little bits where the actual kind of hanging buildings are, the proper gateway, there used to be sort of small enterprise there, pub, such like. And one of the things that they did was ghost trail type things, whatever you would call that. And a Russian billionaire came to visit. His interest in that subject, and heard the call or the words from the departed, as it were. Bought it and spent hundreds of millions rebuilding it completely, and now it's going to be a hotel, such like. You might say it's another building destroyed, but it's another building surviving. In a town like Bodmin, to have something like that appear in the town is a vast employment for the local people. So I'm totally in favour of it myself. Also, they've tied it up, which pleases Nick totally. I'm sure the garden will never look like ours, but they can try, right? Frieda, you had not sailed across the Atlantic on one boat and learned nothing about how it was operated, and you only need to be assessed. You are already ready. You just needed to be allowed to. And to sail blindfolded for an extended period of time, downwind, in sea and swell, that is a skill. Anybody can sail with their eyes closed upwind, because you can hear it flapping. But to hold your course in those circumstances and to be able to do it day or night, in the dark or the light, that is a skill that you have learned there. And you were good. You were all good, and you all learned.
Hi Nick. Very sad circumstances to hear from you, but I hope that these stories from back in the days can put a smile on your face. So my name's Frieda and I'm from Sweden, and I met Nick in must have been spring of 2016 on the British Virgin Islands, and I had just done an Atlantic crossing with one boat. And despite me being seasick the whole trip, Nick convinced me that it was a great idea for me to come back with him to Europe, to Gibraltar, on another boat with him as a captain. And I thought, oh, you know what, I might just as well go with Nick, because I think I will learn a lot of things. And one of the first things that I learned was once I was on night watch on my own, and there was a squall coming up, so I went down to wake Nick up, and we yeah, we did all the things you're supposed to do when there's a squall coming, you know, steer the boat to windwards and let down the sails. And then the squall came over us, and we let it pass. And then, you know, Nick was like, oh, I'm back to bed. And I was, you know, a bit shaken by this, and I said, oh, so, you know, if there's another one coming, I'll wake you up. And Nick was like, don't bother. I'd rather sleep, you know. You handle it on your own, Frieda, if there's another one. And then I also remember another way Nick had of, you know, teaching us how to handle the boat properly was to, he told us to steer manually and close our eyes, and then you were supposed to feel what the wind was doing through feeling it on your cheeks. So I think you could be a harsh captain, Nick, but I definitely learned a lot. Another thing you gave me advice on was not related to sailing at all, but rather on my love life, because the whole time we were crossing the Atlantic I was missing this wonderful person that I had met in the British Virgin Islands. And I asked you, Nick, you've sailed around so much, you must have missed, you know, met a lot of people that you've missed a lot. And Nick said, Frieda, when I was your age, I had forgotten the love of my life within 48 hours of leaving the port. I never quite got around to be able to do that, but I think, yeah, you taught me a lot of things, Nick, especially how to sail a boat properly, and I'm very grateful for that. And I will never forget that crossing. It was both wonderful and absolutely horrible. Yeah. Bye.